I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Happy New Year, everybody. In today's late season matchup, we have two teams who have victory on their minds. It's the Cowboys going up against the Broncos. We're in for a snowy one at the foot of the Rockies as we head out to Denver. Check in with our announcing crew of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry, as we welcome you to the foothills of the Rockies and the snowy foothills of the Rockies here in Denver, Colorado. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. And to give this time to the tailback. And he powers his way up past the 30. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Here's the offense, and you got to talk about the guy that they nicknamed Bebe, Charles Demaryius Thomas.
You worry about him catching the ball, but you worry more about what he does after the catch. Big, strong, physical. He makes plays downfield.
On second down, Wilson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And now the defense for Dallas.
Many doubted Eric Weddle coming out of college, but they don't anymore. One of the best, most versatile safeties in the league.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5.
Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
They go play action with Wilson. He's got time in the pocket. And got his man complete. And he's brought down after a good gain.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
Here we go, Deacon. Watch the edge.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And he will find his man for the first time, Demaryius Thomas. 12 yards on the pickup, and it'll give the Broncos a first down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Now Wilson on first down. Green with a catch left side. And he's brought down. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. So now it's 1st and goal. Now they'll run it on the toss. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them, ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson. He goes underneath for Anderson. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. And McManus able to put it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So the folks here in the stands this afternoon, they're happy about that one. Their guys get the early advantage after the opening drive field goal.
And they should be happy. Their guys look good getting down the field, and that's got to give them hope that good things are in store here today.
And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. Henry, the lone man in the backfield. He's going to get the football. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
All right, now look at 56. All right, now look at 56. Let's go. 56.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's brought down after a good gain. A very solid gain of 27.
Okay, let's do our version of name dropping here. Let's show off a little knowledge, right? The A-gap, the gap between the center and the guard on either side, right? Both sides. Control that, you're going to control an inside running game.
He had to feel satisfied because he hit that gap, broke the contact. He loves that.
That's the best part, right? That's what he's going to ask the coach to run back on film.
Let me see that. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. Looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down in bounds. And on 2nd and 10 now.
Back 99 Philly. Here we go. Hurry up. Here we go. Watch it now, Marty.
On the counter, it's Henry. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
Detroit. Watch it now. Look at 56. Here we go.
A first down carry for Henry. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And here's a look at the defense for Denver.
Arik Armstead was a big-time high school basketball player turned into college football All-American. Now they're counting on him in the NFL to fulfill his promise.
They'll run it again with Henry. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make the play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Here we go now.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it second down. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a second and short yardage to start things out. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
Watch it now, Barney, Barney. Here we go.
Back to the ground now. It's Henry. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. A couple of Broncos there in on the tackle.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
Here's Mallett. Hard throw, incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, and you're not getting too many attempts shorter than that one. I don't think anyone got a finger on it. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
And coming out now, the Broncos. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that on that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
3rd and long, it's Wilson. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12. Here's Riley Dixon now. Lucky Whitehead back deep for Dallas. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Taking it about the 36. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team, because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there, we've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out? So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Henry, the lone man in the backfield. And they'll give it to him here. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front, because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Mallett now. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he's brought down. First down coming there on the intermediate passing play. That's been a point of emphasis, they told us in practice, using those medium routes to keep the defense off balance.
And it wasn't just them telling us. We got to watch them practice it and work on it, because they've been trying to fine-tune it and get it right before this game. And I think they have to be happy with the result.
Now on first down. He'll drop to throw it. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off here by the former first-rounder, Justin Gilbert. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And Denver getting set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And tough starting field position here. And they'll go on the ground. And some room to roam now. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, that was a great example of what we've been told from the time we first put on pads as little guys in the backyard. Effort will be rewarded if you keep giving it. And how about that run? Broke through a couple of tackles, refused to go down, legs churning. I like what I saw there.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They'll come out in the pistol. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. On 2nd down, Wilson. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
And now we're circling here around the 2-minute warning.
This is a setup play, trying to get one last one in before the clock warning.
Play action. It's Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And Latimer's got it. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. A minute 57 to go in this first half. Back to Denver right after this. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Flushed out right. And pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Every time I see a hitch pattern dropped, I go back to the combine because there's a drill that they use all the time that's called the gauntlet drill, where a receiver catches the ball and just works his way straight down the line and catches it from different sides. And the problem with that drill is that you don't actually have to secure the catch. You just kind of catch it, drop it immediately, and keep moving.
And all the way home for the Broncos score. Emmanuel Sanders, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos will add on to their lead.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Now it's Lucky Whitehead on the return. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And out now come the Cowboys. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going, Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. And quickly, they get to the line.
No. Check. Patriot. Leopard.
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Out to the right here to Wilson. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Watch it now, Barney. Now let's go. Blue landed.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Partner, we know today's NFL.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. They go play action here on first down. This will be caught at about the 5. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. In motion, the tight end. Here's Mallett. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
I wouldn't be shocked at all right now if there's a look of surprise on the big fella's face because he had the route that he wanted, running the corner, and usually he's able to use his body and catch the football, but a really nice play by the defenders, able to knock it away.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Can't find anyone open. Now he's flushed out right. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. Call it a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Bailey able to knock it through. But there is a penalty marker down. They might be forced to try this one again. So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve. As we send you on down to our studios in Orlando, where standing by is Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half two, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. No gain on the play there. Second down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Mallett now. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Second down, sacked by the defense. What type of pressure will they bring here on third? We'll see. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. The open man is Smith. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even add a little extra at the end with a short run. And there was a good opportunity that just went awry there, a drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's got time. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it. Pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Here comes the D swarming to the line. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He completes it to Bryant. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Derrick Henry, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Looking for Sanders here on the deep ball. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down. So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. To throw is Wilson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So a ways to go here on 3rd and 10. In the backfield is Anderson. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. He's going to air one out. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Second down here after the incomplete pass. On play action, they'll throw. Out left side here to Bryant. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there, a 22. And let's not take for granted, in these conditions, that's never an easy pass and catch.
You really got to find a way to drive the ball. You know, get your grip. You know, that's why we see some of the guys now, they put the gloves on when they throw the ball in this type of a condition. Sometimes the glove might make it too slippery. So you got to figure out what's going to work for you. But how about the receivers? Looking back and trying to locate the ball coming through snow and making sure they have full concentration.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. A couple of Broncos there in on the tackle.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
They'll run for it now. Here's Marcel Reese. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
3rd and 1, who are you going to call? Not the scat back. You go with the big man, hand him the ball, and let him get upfield and pick up a first down.
They come out here in the eye. Again to Henry. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. A well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. Here's Mallett. Bryant with a catch right side. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and they're going to face a third down. Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Mallett now. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. Defense showing blitz. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Derrick Henry. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Derrick Henry. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Cowboys have broken the tie. Oh, how about this? No good. Just his 2nd miss of the year. And our score will stay right where it is. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And as we see so frequently here in Colorado, that one over the end line, so it'll come out to the 25. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now they'll run it on the toss. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner, but where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
2nd down, they need less than a yard to pick up the 1st. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Now Wilson on 2nd down. He gets it complete to Latimer. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. Play action. It's Wilson. Dancing to his left. And some space here. And he's brought down. Give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. On 1st down, Wilson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, that play's a statistic. that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the fourth quarter, and they got a big one.
And such a close game, a very big one. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Second and 10. It's Wilson again. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So they're
off the way home for a Broncos score. A great effort there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos are an extra point away from taking the lead. Now McManus for the extra point. And the conditions miserable for a kicker and a holder, but this one's good, and with it, they take the lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
Henry, the lone man in the backfield.
Here we go. Green, 39.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's caught by Bryant. And he's brought down. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Get it. He's been busy today. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Here's Mallett. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He completes it to Bryant. And he's going to be taken down deep into Bronco territory. What a decision to go for it on 4th from their own territory, and it pays off. 41 yards. And now a first down following that long gain. They'll toss it to Henry. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line right around the 2. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a first and goal. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. They come out here in the eye. First and goal here from the 2. Now the fullback, Reese, this is where he excels. No gain there, and it's going to set up second and goal. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Second down, the ball on the 2 here, second and goal. And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Another shot here from the 2 as they come up on third and goal. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Third and goal now. Maybe the offensive coordinator thinking blitz here. And now the Broncos will burn another timeout here. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This for the lead in the final stages.
Now this feels like old school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
Well, now then, it's a big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so, but this was not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock, so tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory. And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front, they moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
Offense staying ahead of the chains here, 2nd and 3. Shift together here from the D-line. Back to throw. On the right side, caught by Green. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football, and that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Another pistol look here. Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. So this thing rests on the shoulders of Brandon McManus. This a long one in the elements here in the snow. And his kick is good. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Nothing easy about that one in these elements in the snow, but he's able to put it home in what looks to be the game winner.
And you know, I had problems with the footing just walking from the bus to the stadium. I can't imagine being called to kicking this stuff with the game on the line. But he appeared to have zero issues whatsoever.
Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. Look at the clock. Everyone knows the situation. Probably time here for one final play.
And we know what that play is going to be. It's got to be some sort of Hail Mary, throwing it towards the end zone and hoping someone can catch it or catch it off of a tip. Think back to 2015. Didn't we see Green Bay pull that off once in the season, once in the regular season, once in the playoffs? So stranger things have happened. It'd be interesting to see what the defensive strategy is about who they put on the field to try and knock that ball away.
Well, going into the they knew that